Hello and welcome to another edition of the Kingsbarrow Church Online. Today's Wednesday and it's our Bible study day, and we're going to be having a Bible study of a difference today. On Sunday, Pastor Tunde spoke to us about online friendship, and he gave us some ideas of how we can make the best of going online. Today we're going to be having our youth speak to us on a topic that says, social media, is it good or is it bad? So, let's listen to our youths.
Okay, good evening everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Dawa and I'm here to introduce the debate on the topic of social media and whether it's good or not. I have some guests with me and we're going to be introducing ourselves starting from this side.
Good evening everyone. My name's Sam. If you know, you know. Part of the production team. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Shalom.
Hi guys, my name is Olaboy Balofin. I'm also known as Four Lines. I'm a rapper, musician, songwriter, actor, and entertainer.
Good evening, my name's Vanessa.
Good, thank you guys. So, I'm going to get right into it. And obviously you guys at home that are watching can try and answer some of the questions that I'm asking. But my first question is a general one. My first few questions are just general questions about social media, just to kind of get everyone loose and comfortable. So first question is, how many people do you think are on social media altogether around the world and including every single social media platform? How many people generally? So anyone that thinks they have an answer or wants to take a guess?
I think about 60% of the world's
number.
Number.
Yeah.
How many people on earth do we have now?
Roughly 7.5 billion.
Then I'd say 5 billion.
5 billion, okay.
4.5.
4.5, okay.
Yeah, 4.5 billion.
I agree, Sam.
5, okay.
Maybe 6.
6, okay. Four Lines was the closest. It was 3.8 billion. And that accounts for 49% of the world, so just around half. Okay, next question. Which is the most popular social media platform? Which one has the most?
Facebook.
Are we allowed to?
Sorry.
What's the question?
Which demographic?
So just in general, which is the most used social media platform?
Facebook and Facebook.
Facebook.
I was going to say Instagram, but it depends on the demographic.
Let's use for everyone in the first one. So young, old.
Facebook.
Everyone agree, okay. So yeah, it's Facebook. What about for people between the age of 18 to 34?
One does that one.
Instagram.
Actually, it's between Instagram or Snapchat.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say Twitter.
Okay, I think it's actually Instagram. Instagram is the most used for 18 to 34. Cool, alright. Now, how long on average does the average person spend on social media per day? What's the average use? So, hours, minutes.
Average across the board? Across all ages?
Across all ages, yeah.
So is it at a stretch or like with breaks calculated together? Because some can check for 2 minutes in an hour, another 5 minutes in a different hour. So is it like all together?
Yeah, accumulated in one day. Yeah.
Say about 4 to 5 hours.
Average, okay, 4 to 5 hours.
I'd agree. I'd go as far as say 6 hours, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same. What do you think? 8 hours, okay. You guys were all wrong and wrong by far. The average person spends 1 hour and 15 minutes on social media.
Across all social media.
However, what do you guys think is for the age group between 18 to 34? Does it change?
2 hours, 30 minutes.
2 hours, okay.
30 minutes.
I don't actually have the answer for this, I'm just asking an opinion. Do you think it's more or less?
I think it's more. I think it would be between 4 to 6 hours.
Agreed.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so as well. I think we use it a lot. Alright, now, this is going to be a bit more of like an opinionated answer to the question. So what are the general positives from social media? What are the things that people use it for in a positive way? Or the things you can get out of it?
Marketing, advertising,
Okay.
reaching out to as many people as you can,
Okay.
promoting your work.
I think the most obvious one is keeping connected with your loved ones.
Cool. And obviously that's been important during this time. But yeah, it's a good one. Anyone else? Any other positives?
I was just going to say communication.
Cool. I think the one I was expecting people to say was making money. It seems that a lot of people are making
That's
money.
why I said marketing. Obviously,
Okay,
if you're
yeah,
marketing your
marketing.
stuff, you're doing it to make money.
Yeah, true. But yeah, making money. Not only marketing, even like actually having your online store. So that kind of
selling.
stuff. Yeah. So that's also good. Cool. Another thing as well, people have been able to use online for education. Some people who are in uni this year or college had to take exams. So that's also a good positive. What are some of the negatives though? What are the things that turn people away or make people not using it for the right reasons, maybe? Right reasons.
I think we're not debating this yet, are we?
No.
Okay.
These are just opinions.
I think the negatives of it is that a lot of people, a lot of things are not what they seem on social media. So a lot of people get distracted, and a lot of people, for example, like youths, a lot of people are just 23 and they already think they failed in life because of what they see on social media, and most of these things are not even real. So a lot of people like see stuff on social media and they lose their self-esteem, and they think that they're not progressing or doing well in life because they see people that are about the same age doing way more than them. So I think it gets people depressed.
Okay. Go elaborate a bit more into that. What are the actual things that make people feel like that? In terms of what do they see as success on social media?
Cars. I mean, material things, houses. I mean, like what people do. People spending money. That kind of a thing.
Like
yeah.
Puppy.
Hush puppy. Yeah, exactly. I didn't call names. Though.
Okay, yeah. Good. That's a good reason. What are some other negatives? Other things that are not maybe like the bad side of social media?
I think the fact that you can see literally one line and then run with it without getting any of like the other facts or
So 4 lines.
any or any context with it. Like you can literally just see one story and just like completely run with that. You might not even do your own research on it. You just people will just run with that and go for
False information.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Fake news. Cool. What about obviously one thing that's been going on recently has been this cancel culture, where I'm not sure if people at home understand what I mean, but basically social media influencers make a mistake in their past or make a mistake currently, and people on social media find out about it and they get cancelled within 5 minutes. Everyone on the internet has seen this thing that they've done, and they're automatically, like, their whole reason for being famous or being an influencer is seen as dead and seen as like unimportant anymore because of the mistake they made. Is that a good or bad thing, do you guys think?
Go on.
I think it's bad. I think on social media, a lot of people like follow other people's views. So if they see everyone like getting onto someone, they will follow that. And I think it's kind of wrong because people make mistakes, and it's just bad because people make mistakes.
You know what? I actually think it doesn't even have to do with social media. I think it's everyday life. I mean, you see someone who's been doing something good for a very long time, and then one single mistake comes out, everyone automatically forgets all the good that person has done, and they just focus on that bad. But the only difference is social media magnifies it. So you see a lot of people who are into cyberbullying. A lot of people they're just there to look for one fault, bring you down, and that if you check these people's profiles, you see them, their pages are private. If you check them, you see they only have 100 followers. You can't even find their face. That's their job, is to bring people down. They're always waiting for you to. You just want to find one small.
Isn't that like trolls?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Cyberbullying. They don't care. They that's their work. All they do for money tonight is look for people that they find one small thing and they just come for you.
It's even worse now because again, people are jobless at this time, so people have even more of a reason to do so.
That's true.
But I think people take accountability the wrong way when it comes to cancel culture. Like obviously, this person, they messed up, and you have to be accountable for your actions. But it takes it to the extreme at some points where, on one hand, they preach being able to like grow and learn from your mistakes, but yet they are not allowing someone to grow and learn from their mistakes. Like the hypocrisy is very, the hypocrisy is a lot in terms of that. But
Okay, very good point. Cool. All right, now, in terms of that, what advice would you give to people who use social media, especially people who are not aware? Because obviously, the word troll, for example, is a word that we all are very familiar with, but one that people who are watching may not know about. What is a troll? What does that mean? So, in terms of that whole side of social media, what advice would you guys give, and an explanation of that?
I would personally say that don't take social media very seriously at all. Again, come on there to get what you need to get from it, have a good time. You can even you can filter your feed to what you actually want and what you like. So it's very easy to get sucked into the bubble of it, but again, it's a bubble, and you can pick and choose what you want in that bubble. So the only way you can allow trolls, and I'll briefly describe what they are. They're basically people that don't, their sole purpose is to get a reaction out of you, or sort of bring you down, demoralize you, kind of just turn your day into a sour one and see you react in a way that shows that, oh, you're visibly upset, you're visibly annoyed. Like that's the main goal that's their main prerogative when they go on social media. But again, my advice is if you encounter one of them, is very simple to block, mute, and move on with your life, because at the end of the day, you don't know them, they don't know you, they can't do anything to you.
Bro, you said something. You said it's a bubble. You can't get sucked up in a bubble. Bubble is small now. It's a river actually. But another thing is, if we're really honest about it, especially if depends on what you use social media for. So if you're a regular guy who's just on social media interacting with friends, and someone comes to troll you for maybe because the whole idea of Instagram is, if you use Instagram very well, where people look for your trouble is maybe like on Instablog, a famous page where something happens, people have their different opinions. So for example, let's say a man is beating his son. You see people will come on that page and be like, oh, this is child abuse. Someone else will come on that section and be like, oh, this is how we discipline people. Fight to start. These are two people that don't know each other. They are already going. They will take it. You can see 60 conversations of people on comment section that don't know each other, just fighting for pay. Even the person that posted it has posted it and gone. He has gone to post something else. But when you are an influencer or an entertainer like me, trust me, it is very hard to overlook things. That's why if you see someone like Burna Boy, for someone like Burna Boy, as hard as he is to say that, oh, he's leaving his Instagram for people to manage it for, it's not like he's leaving it for people to manage it because it's a professional thing to do. He's leaving because there are things that are getting to him, there are things that are being said that are hitting him, and he's a human being. It's going to affect it's going to affect him psychologically. Processing songs, writing songs. That's why he left it. Do you understand? So it depends on what you're using it for. It's easier to say, oh, don't let it get to you. Bro, you're a human being. This is your craft, this is your work, this is your life. So imagine someone just coming and you post a song and the person is like trash. Bro, I don't want to know how I don't want to know how hard guy you are it will get to you. And bro, you'll be surprised. People kill themselves, people commit suicide because of this thing.
Yeah, it's very true. And I think that's why one of the important things, based off what the both of them have said, is that to actually notice a troll, you can notice it by the account. So things to look out for are the amount of followers they have. Do they have an actual profile picture? What are their tweets about? Once you look at those things, you can kind of figure out if this is someone that's really posting on their social media for their own wants and for their own enjoyment, or if they're just doing it to actually incite different arguments. So be very careful of that, especially when we see opinions. Sometimes there's some of us who see opinions on the internet, and I think it's good. I don't know if you guys agree. If you see, let's say you're on Twitter, you're scrolling through, and you see someone post something that you disagree with, do you think it's correct for you to answer back and like argue and say your opinion if you know that they're saying something wrong?
To be honest, bro, sometimes we're human beings.
Yeah.
I'll be very. Sometimes I get carried away, but I think let's even leave Twitter and Instagram. Let's take it personal. Let's go to WhatsApp. I've noticed now that a lot of people tend to get in their feelings, and a lot of things are misinterpreted on WhatsApp. So imagine now, like I type to someone in capital letters, and she replies me, "Stop shouting," and I'm thinking, hey, what's going on? I just typed in capital letters. So you understand? Sometimes it's my own advice. So not everyone has to take it. You need to understand. You need to weigh your relationship with the person, because I can say something to Mr. A and we laugh about it, and I say the exact same thing to Mrs. B and she gets in her feelings or she gets offended. So maybe for WhatsApp, obviously you're texting someone who you know. You need to weigh the relationship. How close am I to this person?
So yeah, I think like this, gone off what Four Lines has said there, I think it's very important to make sure we're careful about how we answer back to different things that are said on social media, just to make sure we're not getting into unnecessary squabbles, especially with friends and people that we know, and be worried about who we're talking about. Cool. All right, so my next question was in the area of social media and education. Now, do we think, because obviously with COVID happening, a lot of people are now getting used to to using, let's even move away from social media, but let's say using the internet. Do we think that is a positive step in terms of using the internet, using online for education? Or do we think that there's still a bit of value in face-to-face teaching, face-to-face learning?
I think it depends on how you learn as an individual, because some people learn better in the classroom setting and like they're being like lectured and taught. Some people learn better with videos like on their own. Some people learn better with reading something thoroughly. So I think it's whatever works best for the individual. The fact that it's moving on is the fact that it's moving online a good step forward? Yeah, I wholeheartedly think it's a good step forward, because there are resources that you can use and learn for free that are being charged for at like certain institutions. So I think it's definitely a step in the right direction, more or less. You just have to know yourself and how you learn as an individual, and because that's how you're going to get the most out of it. So
all right, let me ask another question now. One very important part of social media is following, and I think that gives a lot of people a sense of security, or kind of like it kind of ticks a box in terms of how important that person is or how much power or influence that person has. So I'm going to ask towards the ladies, because I know obviously social media has been used a lot for fashion and like what is trending, what is out there that is kind of like what people are wearing or what people are using in terms of maybe products and stuff. How important is a following to you guys in terms of what influences your choice or what people you follow, that kind of thing?
I think it matters in the sense that you get more ratings in a sense if your following is up. So I think people use social media to brand themselves, and in that process followers is really important. So I feel like people do really look at those things and hold it highly. So yeah.
Okay.
I think it depends what you're using social media for. So I think if you want to be an influencer, then yeah, followers would matter, and you have to be like regular with your content and stuff like that. But if you're just an ordinary person, I don't think it matters that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think following affects? So let's say you've just logged onto your Instagram and someone's followed you, and let's say in this scenario it's a person of the opposite sex. So if you're a guy, it was a girl. If you're a girl, it was a guy. And you've been followed by the person, does the person's following have an influence on whether you follow them back, whether you pay that attention, or is that something that's just like it's whatever kind of thing?
Is this a general question?
This is a general question, yeah, for anyone.
Okay. Speaking
So
as
let's say someone's following you.
I get your question.
Yeah,
I get your
yeah.
question. To be honest, yeah, I'm in the entertainment industry, anyways, and I see a lot of celebrities who follow very little people, and they have so many followers.
Yeah.
Some celebrities, I think it's all about mood. So, I mean, people depends on how people feel. Personally, yeah, I get people follow me sometimes. If I know them, I follow them back. Sometimes if I don't know them, I wait to see what's cause. Some people actually follow you just to unfollow you. People do that. Yeah, people do that.
Yes.
So there's so many things around it. But me, I'll just look at it sometimes. Some big celebrities, would follow you. After a while, they will follow you back. I mean, I've found myself in that situation as well. Not for any reason. They just feel like, it kind of raises their self-esteem, but they have 5 million followers. They're only following 23 people. And I know some other celebrities that they follow anybody. They don't care.
Right.
Yeah, I see some said the big AY is the most followed comedian in Africa with 7 million followers. He's following like 7,000 people. And we have people that we just have 1.5 million followers or less than a million followers, and they're following 300 people. So it kind of, everyone has, some people don't think about it. Some are very particular about it. But me, myself, to be honest, yeah, I think most people just want you to follow them back so you can see their messages. So what I try to do is I try to make everyone feel important. I reply everyone. I reply all my texts, my DMs, WhatsApp. The only reason I don't reply is if you become disrespectful, rude, or you're trying to take advantage of, you're trying to act funny. But other than that, I try to make everyone, because sometimes I reply some people and they're like, oh my God, you replied. I'm thinking, why shouldn't I reply?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? They're so excited. It's like, it makes their day. You understand?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's, I'm like I said, because I'm an entertainer. The other people are different. You understand? These are the people who are gonna push my work and my
content,
you understand?
yeah.
So if I'm ignoring them, what's the point? They're just gonna feel heartbroken and be like, oh, you get what I'm saying? So I don't even have to follow them back to make them feel important.
Okay.
I think from a general point of view, it's something that came with age. Obviously, when we sort of grew up into social media, like when it first started, like maybe back in 2010, even as far back as Bebo, MySpace and all that, like it used to be a thing, like follow count and everything. But I think as you've grown older, it's more of do I know this person, or like have I interacted with this person? Me personally, like if I don't know the person and they follow me back, I just like what do I do kind of thing. Like I think it's more of a do I know you kind of thing the older you get. I think follow counts is a thing when you're younger. I don't know if that's still the case though. But.
In line with what you just said in terms of following number, do we think that people have too much of a thought towards the difference? So having the ratio. Do you think there's too much importance on that in the generation of? I think it's more so with our generation. Do you think people think about that too much?
They do.
I think they
on following
do.
sprees and all those things.
I think they do. I definitely used to before I was like when I like for maybe pre-20 or so. Like I definitely used to think that I try not to let my follower ratio get to my following ratio. But the older you get, we only have one life. Like I can't come and kill myself because of like someone's perception of me. Like I think it becomes less of a deal the older you get.
So are you following more people that are following you, or more people are? Hold on. Are you following more people, or more people are following you?
On Instagram, yeah. On Instagram, I'm following more.
Really?
Yeah, on Instagram I'm following more because I wasn't really on Instagram
You
like
understand?
that.
Okay,
So.
you didn't. Let me tell you something. I was
Sorry.
sorry.
You want asking questions?
Oh, sorry.
I'm playing.
Sorry. Yeah, because I was talking to one like very top celebrity in Nigeria who happened to be following so many people. So I was like, bros, how come? Why are you following this many people? He said, my brother, when Instagram came out, I didn't know how it worked, so I was just following. So by the time he found out, it was too late, and he was like, I can't just start following these people. It's gonna break their hearts. And I said, to be honest with you, a lot of these people you're following, some of them God have mercy, have passed away. Some don't even use the account anymore. So what I do is I actually do an evaluation over time. Instagram will tell you now, oh, you haven't interacted with this person for time, you know. God rest some souls of people that have followed and they've passed away. Obviously, they're not alive anymore. Have to unfollow them. So people don't even use it. Some people have not posted since 2014. What am I following the person for? I unfollow them. But you understand? I try to make it as you get. It's not like I'm just I have beef with this person. Some people that have followed me and unfollowed me, I didn't unfollow them back because I didn't think it was necessary. You understand? That's their own.
But again, now I think you only need to care about that if like you're actually using your page for business. So that like if there's a goal you want to achieve from your page, then yes, you have to worry about that. But
worry about what exactly?
Like worry about like
evaluation
following ratio.
Oh yes. I mean, I'm building a brand for my entertainment, so I when I lose followers, I get a bit concerned. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's monopoly. At the end of the day, I'd rather have $1 million in my account than have 1 million followers.
Yeah, I think it's more to do with the younger generation. I think they want to have as many followers as they can. I think that's just like a status thing. Like I used to want to have as many followers as I can, but then it got to a point.
50K, yeah.
It got to a point where I was realizing I was following people that I don't really know or like I don't really like their posts. So I did. Instagram does have an option to actually remove them from your like following list. So yeah, I think it's better to like follow people because you're going to be going through your feeds, and if it's not posts you like, there's no point just following them just for that number. So yeah.
Cool. All right. Now that ends our first part of the session. We're going to come back in a short while to debate on whether social media is actually good or bad. And this side will be arguing for, this side will be arguing against. So we'll see you shortly.
Dad, camera, put it down. You cannot take a picture with the top of your head. Dad, that's not helping. Can you smell better than that? Can you not wait 5 minutes?
Oh, hey, if you're going in there, you're gonna want that. Love you.
All right, take the picture there. Look as pitiful as you can.
Oh my God, Mom, this is embarrassing.
Take the shot. If
This
you'll
is
hurt us in
embarrassing.
the picture, just do
It's
it. Don't
hot
worry about
out.
that.
It is hot.
Babe, please.
I want pizza. We're not having pizza. I'll give you ice cream and pizza. It doesn't matter. Well, you don't even know. It tastes bad. Well, it does. You'll see. It tastes good.
I'll then clean the house down.
Thank you, Kayla. Well, we want pizza. Well, we're not having pizza. Well,
Thank you guys and welcome back. We're going to start a second part of this debate, and this part of it will be an open floor for both sides to discuss and argue for and against social media. So yeah, I'm opening the floor and asking the question: is social media good or bad? Why? Give examples. Floor is everyone's. I'm not picking sides, I'm in the middle.
Okay, so who's gonna start?
You started talking. So
Okay,
you start.
all right. Yeah, I mean, good day, everyone. My name is Olaboye Balofin, aka 4 Lines. I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, and everything. And I'm here to argue the fact and the motion that social media has done more good than harm. First of all, social media is a platform that people use to interact with family. They use it to promote their stuff. They use it to reach out to people. They use it to market themselves. They use it to showcase themselves. They use it to have fun. All these things are what human beings need to get by everyday life and do things. It gives every single person a chance to take a break from the daily stresses of life and all that, which I think is a good idea. It's a good thing. Those are the few points of mine that I'm going to use to start and open the floor. Over to my people.
Hey everyone, you know me already. I don't believe that social media has done enough good in this world because yes, I mean we're in this age where we're getting all the information we can get like at once. We are getting it at an alarming rate, more than we have ever gotten it before. But at the same time, is one human meant to be taking in all this information at once? Like, think about everything bad that goes on in the world. Before, the news would only pick like maybe a handful of them, and then we will they'll display to us in the evening news or morning news or whatever, and it would be like and it even depends on when you watch the news. Now we're seeing it like real time as it's happening, all the bad news coming on in the world all in one place, and that's too much for one human being to handle alone. Like, it's like the more bad news, more like sad stuff you're seeing going around in the world, it affects your mental state. It's not good for us to be seeing all of this, because no one is like, we don't know the ramifications of this, like, because obviously we're the first generation to really experience this. So like, we don't know the after effects of all of this sort of taking on of people's trauma, like one after another with no break. Well, that's if you don't take a break from it, but it's definitely not as it seems. Like, it's not the be all and end all. It's not the replacement for actual life. But yeah.
I mean, I think in line what he's saying is the media's effect on social media has generally been negative. What gets on the front news is mostly bad news. So what do you guys have to say?
Well, I'm going to counter that, because just like every other person, you're in control of what you let in and what you let to go out. So if you see now, social media now, obviously nothing is made perfectly. Nothing that is made by man is made perfectly. Not even the drugs that we use to cure ourselves for sickness has side effects. Vitamin C has side effects. Even the drugs. So with social media, if you notice on Instagram, what they do is people, they get reviews from people. They get people who send things to them, and then they shuffle it and say, okay, 10 million people have sent reviews or have sent what they think about this app. 8 million people are complaining about XYZ. They take what those 8 million people have complained about. Not like they ignore the 2 million, but at least 8 million out of 10 million. They need to address that first. So for example, now, if you notice on Instagram now, you can limit your comments. Do you understand? If you're someone who you know that comments will get you limit your comments. I know that for some weird reason, I don't think it's the bad people that want to say things that get to you psychologically that will get to your comment first. Because by the time they get there, they can't say anything, they can't do anything. Now, if you're following people on Instagram now, let's say you're a food person, you have the option of literally like limiting your feed to, things that have to do with food. So you can't say that it's you consume too much. It's just like if you want to eat now, you're not going to eat more than what you can take. Do you understand? So with social media, it's more about self-control. If you know that you don't like seeing bad news, then don't go to where bad news is. Nobody is going to put a gun to your head and say, oh, you need to go to this person's page to check what this person is posting.
It actually just comes up. So like the Shade Borough, the Shade Room.
We're not for against.
I'm sorry.
No, say what you want to say though.
No, that's literally it. You can't help what you see on your screen. It's even the explore page. It comes up. It's inevitable.
Yeah, and on Twitter as well, you don't even have to be following the person to see tweets. You could just see it from other people.
I'm not on Twitter. I can't relate.
Yeah, but even Instagram, it depends on what affects the person negatively on social media. So if it's like the explore page as well, like people can see them post and then start feeling like negative about themselves. So I don't think it's about who you follow, because it's just so easy to just see it quickly.
See random. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so with that, since we have a few other people have joined different sides. I'm going to try and support Boye here. So do you think that there's a bit more of an onus on, because obviously there are ways in which we can use social media and actually try and control or limit what we see. So they have certain tools where you can, for example, one of the things on social media I've noticed on Twitter, for example, is that a lot of people are using it for means of making money by showing their body. I'm just going to stop it there. And you can actually limit that because you can limit sensitive content on your feed. So they have set things like that. Now, do you think it's an onus on social media platforms like Twitter, like Instagram, to educate more people to understand how to use these tools? Because I think one big issue is that some people literally don't know how to use these tools. It's literally as you learn. Do you think it's more of a fault of them, or do you still think it's based upon an open field for seeing whatever?
I think normally, if this was a regular like app, the onus is on them. Like if it was just a regular developed like app on the iOS store, like they have to do that. It's their job to do that. But when it's something as big as social media, I think it's out of their control in order to do so. Not saying in the sense where like it's out of the people who designed the app, developed the app's control, doesn't mean that the individual themselves can also take responsibility for it. But at the same time, you have a point where like these tools are available for us. We don't know how to use them. How are we able to like find out how to use them? It's a thin line. It's a thin line to walk upon, but I think both parties need to work together. But again, people only do things that will benefit them. Does it benefit them to do it? Not really. Does it benefit them for them to teach us how to use these tools? Not really, because it just means more traffic to our page, and more traffic means more money.
So another part of social media has been in politics, and the way that politicians use social media. And obviously they count as part of influencers, only that they are actually in authoritative positions where anything they say affects people straight away.
AKA Donald Trump.
There we go, Donald Trump, Boris
Kanye
Johnson,
West.
Kanye West, all of these kind of people who have got into politics and now have this pedestal. Now, do we think that, because obviously we're talking about influence previously before, but do we think that there's a separate, like field for politicians and those who are in authoritative positions, who are authoritative figures, to be mindful of what they say on social media? Or do we still think that it's their social media, they can post what they like, they're human just like us? What do we think in that aspect?
You literally just said it. They're first human beings before, like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is first a human being before the president of America. It's flesh and blood. He bleeds. Do you understand? So I don't think most people who get into power actually like change, because it's like if you become the president of America tomorrow, there's already something that is amen. There's all the prime minister of the UK, the first black prime minister of the UK. It's kind of like a system already set in place. Do you understand? So you're not any different than the former president. You're just going to come set your own implementation. If the next president comes, if he likes it, he keeps it. If he doesn't like it, he kicks it out and sets up his own thing. But then I think their personality is still who they are. When Obama was in power, I doubt if of course he did tweet, but I'm sure someone else handled his Twitter because he was probably more busy with whatever he had to do. So with Donald Trump, everyone is different. Do you understand? I think that's his personality.
Anything to?
I think because with political figures, they've taken on responsibility. So I think if they're just tweeting the same way as an ordinary person, I don't think that's right, because there's so many people following them, looking up to them as a leader. So I think their tweets should reflect the right things. Like Donald Trump, he tweets things which I don't think a president should tweet. So I think yeah, I think they should just reflect the beliefs of the country, and yeah.
They should block his Twitter.
To
They should suspend his
I mean,
Twitter.
he's been suspended. Well, not suspended, but he's been
warned
a couple of times. So.
to build on to what Shalom said, it's you can't. It's like you can't say that he is allowed to that he's a human first, because when you look at it, he's the only leader doing this. There's no other leader in the world that is doing what he's doing, and that is telling you. Imagine Buhari was tweeting the way Donald Trump was tweeting. Exactly. We shouldn't let one anomaly be the let's look at this for trend. Like, no, let's call a spade a spade. What he's doing is not like right of someone who's in his position, someone a leader of one of the most powerful nations in the country, because what he says is essentially a representation of the entire country, and we know that's not the case.
Yeah.
He needs to lead by example, and he's clearly not doing that with his tweets. Social media is, if anything, amplifying him. But I don't think it is something that we should incorporate, because back then, by all accounts, with the mood on social media, Donald Trump shouldn't have won in 2016. But alas, he won. And I think that's a very clear distinction in that, yes, there's social media, but real life is still real life. Like, what might be the mood on your timeline is definitely not the mood around the rest of the world. So until it becomes a point, and I think we're getting closer to that, where social media and real life are sort of mirrored one-to-one, in the sense where like the mood on social media is the same as the mood in real life. That's when we can start having talks about, okay, do we have political leaders have special accounts? Do we have them tweeting special things? Until then, what they tweet is a representation of the country, and we can't let them get away with just tweeting nonsense. So,
yeah, but you said he's the only one. When you say them, that's like plural. You say you can't let him get to tweeting.
Sorry for semantics, Mr. Semantics. Sorry for that, but we can't.
Buhari does not tweet.
He does. Okay, no, he tweets.
Actually, someone tweets for him.
Okay, every political leader tweets, but Donald Trump is the only one that.
He's the one that handles his Twitter by himself.
Yes, possibly. He's the only one that handles his Twitter by himself. But bottom line, it's not the time yet for us to be mixing politics and political stuff and social media. Bottom line.
Now, the last part I think I want to add is in line with what you just said at the end. In terms of politics for us as young people, do we not think that social media is good for us understanding it? Because politics is not popular amongst young people. A lot of people don't like politics, they don't get interested in voting, all that kind of stuff. Do we not think social media is a good way of educating young people on politics and what's going on in the country?
Yes, if it's with the right sources. Sorry, continue.
I think it's already happening.
Yeah.
I mean, now a lot of people didn't actually want to vote because they weren't even informed. I mean, just like countries are different. I mean, back in Nigeria, if they're doing election, everyone is going to know. They close down the streets. No movement. Whereas in the UK, like they can be voting and you don't even know, and then they just like, Boris Johnson won, and like they voted. Like there was an election, like you didn't even know there was an election. So I mean, I think that is changing now in the sense that they even go as far as advertising it on TV. After you watch like a program on Sky, you see them just flash it by votes today, vote for, you understand, at least little things. So even now, I mean, obviously this voting thing hasn't even, social media hasn't been around for up to 20 years if you think about it. So I mean, you can't expect. It's not if you want to call a social media app that's been around for 20 years. No, it's not been up to 20 years.
2000, I'm pretty sure Bieber was around by then.
Where's Bieber today?
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I'm talking about the grand ones that are happening now. Do you understand? So, I think
maybe
it's
MSN.
It's just MSN.
MSN Messenger.
I'm talking about the ones that started then and are still the giants of today. What I'm basically saying is that I think they're starting to step up. You understand? Facebook now even sells things. Do you understand? You can buy things on Facebook. So the level of educating people to terms of politics, I think they're getting there. These things don't happen overnight because social media is wide. There are too many things to cover, but then they can only take it one at a time, and then before you know it, it becomes it's as good as, you know, us even being excited to want to vote, because now things are changing. Before, like, teenagers they didn't even know. Teenagers now know who's in which cabinet, who's in which party. They know what's going on, and you see them when you. How do you know when you watch news and you see them interview people? They're talking. They know what's going on. As social media, because you and I personally know that they didn't actually vote in the previous time. So how did they know? Social media. Some of them you see them following Corbyn, following all these guys. So it's social media is promoting politics and enlightening the youth to, you know, vote actually. Yes.
But see, again, you have to be wary of, as you rightly said, we're getting there, but we're not all the way there. Purely because there's no way to verify information.
Yeah.
Like, you could, someone could be telling you information about voting and how best to, like, who you should vote for based on this information. But again, everyone has their own agenda at the end of the day. Whether they like it or not, people have their own agenda to push. Until we get to a point where we have people that we can cite as credible sources, and we as ourselves can go and dig for information, we can't rely on social media 100% for our political knowledge.
That kind of rounds up our discussion. And just to give like a bit of an overview on everything, I think it's important for us to take from this that social media can be used positively, but there are a lot of negatives on it. So it's very important that we're careful on what we use, how we use it, and how we also allow others to see us on it. As well as that, it's also important that we go along with the trend, because it's a trend that's continued growing and that through this lockdown has grown even faster. So it's important that we work alongside it rather than stand against it. But also to make sure that we ask a lot of questions towards each other, towards people who, like us, who use social media a lot, just to ask general questions about how to use certain tools that you may not understand. In this month of friendship, it's also good for us to be able to try and make friends in it, as we're being careful with how we use it. Thank you for joining us so far. I just wanted to use this time to encourage everyone at home to give in their offering and their tithes. It's very important to do so, as God asks for it and has written in the Bible to say so. And it's also good for us to be able to give thanks to God in the area of what our income is. It allows us to tap into the grace and tap into blessings from God, and allows us to also move forward in our progressive lives with God. So please follow the details below and how to do so, and always understand that your details will be secured, your details will be kept safely, and God will bless you. I'm just going to use this time to pray for everyone who's also doing that. Lord, thank you for providing for us in us being able to give our tithes and offerings this evening. We pray, Lord, that you will restore our storehouses and you allow us to have many other opportunities to give unto you. We pray, Lord, that you will bless us and that we'll be able to bless others as we have given this evening. Thank you, Lord, for in Jesus' name we've prayed. Amen. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Thank you for joining us guests, and we hope to see you soon. Hope to see you on social media. Please like and subscribe. Please share, comment on the post as you're watching right now.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And yeah, we hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Thank you guys for joining us this evening. We hope you were blessed and we hope you got a great understanding on social media. We also hope that this debate and this discussion allows you to be able to use social media better in your own lives. We hope that we'll see you again this Sunday, and we pray that we'll be able to be blessed again. Remember, we're also on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. But on Instagram, please look on our bio for the link, which will be posted on Sunday morning for our service, which starts at 10 a.m. Until then, have a lovely week and take care.
Hello and welcome
Bye-bye.
to another edition of the Kingsborough Church Online. Our theme for the month is friendship. All our services are streamed on Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo and Twitter. Our Sunday service is from 10 to 11 a.m, while our Midweek Bible study is from 7 to 8 p.m. every Wednesday. Friday the 31st of July is another date for the Adassa Ladies Online Lounge. Time is 7 p.m. The venue is going to be on Zoom. Meeting ID will be posted on the Adassa Ladies WhatsApp group chat. Sunday the 2nd of August is our Super Sunday, and it's also our Thanksgiving service. Service starts at 10 a.m. Also, Wednesday the 5th of August is our First Communion service for the month of August. We start each week with prayers every Monday morning from 5 to 5:30 a.m. via our telephone conference line. The number to call for participation is 0330 998 1256 and the access code is 597261#. Our children's church holds their service every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. Details of the meeting ID is posted on Adassa Ladies and Kingsmen's platform. If you're not a part of the Kingsmen or the Adassa Ladies and you'd like your children to participate, just send an email to children'schurch@kingsborough.org.uk. The email once again is children'schurch@kingsborough.org.uk. Our youths hang out online every week to engage themselves in practical issues. For details of the hangout time, please call 01895 252 224. The number once again is 01895 252 224. Saturday World Lounge is our interactive discussion forum where we discuss issues of life from ages 18 to 29, 30 to 45, and 46 and above. Discussions will be live on Zoom every Saturday from 6 to 7 p.m. and meeting ID will be posted on each group's WhatsApp chat. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel and visit our website on www.kingsborough.org.uk. This is the Kingsborough Church, where we add value to life.